This is what you'll have to carry around in order to cross the immigration. So as the weather starts to get better, people are starting to come in. It is a busy place now, and behind me is the immigration counter of Pakistan, and literally more and more people come in. This area is starting to get a little bit more crowded than usual. So yes. I'm officially out of Pakistan immigration, and this is the bus that is going to take me to the Kartarpur Sahib shrine. Very interesting buses, literally. I've seen some of these buses in China before, but they are really good. So this is going to take me to Dera Baba Sahib, which is the shrine. This one here is the actual immigration building. And then this bus will take us out to there. And again, if you look around, it's still a border area. It looks a border area, and it is literally one of those things that you don't really get to see very often, or experience very often. So most importantly, I guess this is worth a visit. If you can, you should visit this place. Reception has been great. People have been really helpful, especially on the Pakistani side. The border guards, the commandos, they've all been helpful. They basically hugged me, they've actually shook hands, and everyone's just really helpful. So it's an experience worth enjoying. So I'm now outside Pakistani immigration building at the border outpost at Kartarpur, Dera Baba Nanak, and waiting for a little more people to come in so the bus could take us to where we have to. As I think of why this is important to me, my grandfather, for those who don't know, I have told us a few of your story before. In 1947, went the other way. He left all his belongings in Lalpur, which is now called Faisalabad, and was helped by a gentleman called Muhammad Ali, who gave him his bicycle to ride to Lahore and take the train to India, never to return. Sad days, sad chapter in Indian and Pakistani history. My grandfather was part of that story. I've heard a lot of sad stories around that, but again, this is a new beginning. This is beginning of a new era in that history, where Indians, Pakistanis all sort of get to talk to each other. What is more interesting is, surprisingly, most of the people we'll see today would have not met a Pakistani national before. And they've probably been fed a few stories about this or that, but I think it'll be an interesting social experiment to watch some of those interactions today during the day. I have made it early. There's probably a few more people to come in before the bus actually moves. Looking forward to the rest of the day. We're going to cross the river Ravi. So on the way in, we cross Satluj and Bias, and there'll be river Ravi. So 3 of the 5 rivers. Punjab is literally, the literal meaning is land of 5 rivers. Unfortunately, they were separated. There's 2.5 rivers each way, with 2 rivers on one side and Ravi sort of crisscrossing between India and Pakistan. So I will get to actually cross over today and see the river Ravi. I made sure I took the first seat when the bus was ready to leave. And then we started. The bus moved slowly at first, pulled out of the immigration terminal, and I had my camera ready, capturing every little moment along the way. It was a feeling that I could not describe. And as the bus moved towards the Sikh temple of Gurudwara, Kartarpur Sahib, leaving behind the terminal, I wasn't sure how I was feeling. I was a bit emotional, a bit happy. It was strange. I was in Pakistan. The Pakistanis definitely had sorted the infrastructure out. The flag was definitely on the mast, and the terminal building, which was built like a Sikh shrine in Sikh architecture was also complete, at least. Looked complete. If it wasn't on the inside, there was a few little things still being done, but it did look really complete. And so I was amazed that in a matter of 8 months, the Pakistanis had built this massive bit of infrastructure, a bridge over River Ravi, processing terminals and so on. So I was really amazed at the progress. And we Indians and Pakistanis, when we decide to do something, we do it really well. We just do it at the last minute though. But yes, this is all done. The driver happened to be from Faisalabad, and talked to him about my grandfather, and he shook my hand. Yeah, it was an emotional bit, and called me his younger brother, although he looked younger to me, but I'll take it. Then we drove. It was a 3.5 kilometer drive. As we drove along lush green fields, you could not miss the fact that it was a border area because of all the fences and border guard pickets. But then we approached slowly. There was border guards on both sides. There's fence on both sides of the road because this is a corridor, and the Indians only allowed on this corridor. Surprisingly, they're allowed to walk all the way if they want to, all 4.5 kilometers. Not many people apparently do it, I was told, but that is an option, and I did consider it seriously on the way back, but then I thought about the rain and let go. One day I might go back and try and do it. The rain was sort of still playing hide and seek on and off, and I wasn't sure how the day would go, but I was just excited to be where I was, and the fact that I had crossed the most militarized border on foot, which is something I'd always wanted to do, not at Wagah, but at Dera Baba Nanak, Kartarpur Sahib. So that was also an interesting feeling. Yes, and then finally we got there. We got to the bridge. The bridge on Ravi was also built in the last 8 months. It's a 2-lane bridge that crosses over the river and connects the shrine of Kartarpur Sahib with the eastern side of the border, which sort of goes on to India. The eastern side of the river, which sort of is close enough to the border. There you see, crossing over the bridge, the river Ravi, which flows from India into Pakistan, crisscrosses the border 3 or 4 times, and then finally goes down Pakistan, and is actually used to irrigate a lot of downstream plains in Pakistan. Yeah, some of the military vehicles still moving around, some of the construction vehicles still moving around. A lot of emotional people, tears flowing down eyes of some of the other who had never thought this day would come. People making videos, people singing the praises of Guru Nanak. It was really a sight that cannot be described, or a feeling that cannot be described. You have to be in it to see, to actually feel it. The border guards waved at us as we drove past. They laughed, they sort of smiled. Everyone was happy. And then there was the first glimpse of the Sikh shrine, Kartarpur Sahib. The first Sikh Guru, Guru Nanak, spent the last 18 years of his life at this place, living a simple life. That's where he preached his teachings, and eventually lived a simple life farming the land that we are on now. The bus driver told us a few stories about how people in this area, Narawal district of Pakistan, also revere Guru Nanak as one of their own peers, as a saint is called in the local language. And that we would see that a lot of them, even in spite of rain, would still come. We're finally there, moving towards that's the Gurudwara that we're here to sort of visit. Gurudwara Shri Kartarpur Sahib, 4 kilometers inside the Pakistani territory. Can't believe I'm in Pakistan and actually visiting this place. This is Interesting. It's clean. The buses bring us over the River Ravi from where the terminal is on the other side. You cannot see it because of the rain. And there we are. So we now get in, and the final thing to get in is the public final check, and then we move in.
गेट तो एंटर होने तो बाद मजीद चैकिंग कोई नहीं थोड़ी अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स स्पैशली पासपोर्ट तो बैंक रसीद संभाल दोबारा वापसी बैंक रसीद में जमा करो जो कार्ड गले दिते गए लटाने वास्ते किसी सूरत उतारने नहीं किसी ने चेंज नहीं करना गुम नहीं करना वापसी का टाइम 4 बजे पाकिस्तानी 4 इंडियन 4:30 इतनी तो बस मिलेगी बाकी दरबार साहब और मैडम देख करते हैं कि चीज़
वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह साथ संगत जी ग्लोबल नोबल दी मैनेजमेंट कंपनी वालों मैं पूरा को आप सब जी आए नु आखती हाँ आप जी दर्शन ड्योरी के अंदर खड़े हो इस साइड के सामने जोड़ा घर है जोड़े जमा कराने के बाद इसी लाइन से तीसरा दरवाज़ा लॉकर रूम का है फिर इस पास आप जी पहला परिक्रमा मिलेगा जिसके दरमियान सरोवर साहब के दर्शन होंगे दूसरे परिक्रमा के दरमियान धार्मिक प्रचार प्रसार का स्थान है वो पिछले पास लंगर हाल है लंगर हाल के पिछले पास मिनी मार्केट और मेडिकल सेंटर का प्रबंध है सामने जो परिक्रमा आपको नजर आ रहा है उसके राइट लैफ्ट दोनों कॉर्नर से बाथरूम की सहूलत मौजूद है जिथे आप जी वास्ते जोड़े भी रखे हुए हैं इस साइड लास्ट परिक्रमा आएगा जिसके दरमियान पोडियम है जिसके ऊपर कृपान बनी है आप पोडियम से खड़े होकर खेती साहब के दर्शन कर सकते हैं जिसे पिछला जनाब ठंडा साहब बनाए हुए हैं जिससे बाबा जी अपने हथी गिफ्ट करते हैं मेन गुरुद्वारा साहब दरमियान के ने जिसके बाहरले पास बाबा जी का छोपरा पर हजूर साहब के दर्शन होंगे उतों आप जी अमृत जल लैके जा सकते हैं नाल ही बाबा जी के मजार साहब के दर्शन हो जाएंगे अंदरले पास बाबा जी के समाज साहब के दर्शन होंगे छत के दीवान से जो प्रकाश होया जिस जगह प्रकाश होया की बैक साइड में परिक्रमा से खराब प्रसाद और पिनी प्रसाद का प्रबंध है पिनी प्रसाद लिए कोई पीटा नहीं रखी गई आपका जिन्ना दिन चाहे उन्हें लैके जा सकते हो निशान साहब के सामने सारा इतिहास लिखा होया आप जिसे पढ़ सकते हो मार्केट और खेती साहब ने जोड़े पा के जाना चाहो जोड़े पाने के बाद ऐसी सीढ़ियां नीचे उतर के सज्जे हाथ सेकंड साइन बोर्ड मार्केट का है खब्बे हाथ सेकंड साइन बोर्ड खेती साहब का है आप जी ना दोनों राही जोड़े पा के जा सकते हो मार्केट में भी बाथरूम है ना जेकर आप वो इस्तेमाल करना चाहोगे तो आप अपने शूज़ इस्तेमाल करो क्योंकि शूज़ नहीं रखे हुए मार्केट से अगर करेंसी बाबा जी आप पूछ रहे थे एक्सचेंज कितों करानी है तो एक्सचेंज पॉइंट है आप एक्सचेंज करवा सकते हैं वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा
Continue on. As you enter from the main side, there is the room to put your shoes on. Chodaka as they call it. It's a really clean marble place. And the lady basically gave us a tour of what is where. And there's a cloak room on the other side. And as you go around, there's other areas of interest. So this is all marble, and marble does get too cold. So this is a good little hack to keep people walking without really getting too cold. So yeah, that's your first glimpse of the shrine. Looks like it is cold today. It's been raining, so you don't really expect many people coming in today, but looks like this is where most of to visit. So this shrine was built in the 30s after a flood in River Ravi sort of demolished the original shrine here. It was built by the Maharaja of Patiala, fell into disrepair, and since 2000s, early 2000s, the government of Pakistan's renovated it. It used to be just that little bit for a while, which you could see from the Indian side, but look at the complex now. It is supposedly the largest Sikh Gurudwara, Sikh temple of worship in the world. 104 acres, of which 4 acres of is the actual temple. This pathway will so that is the sacred pool, the Sarovar Sahib. Apparently it is the water from the Guru Nanak's well that has been used to fill this Sarovar. There's facilities for change rooms, and this is the master plan of the complex. Usually we came in that way when we got here, we arrived up here, but this when it's all built, have a lot more buildings and a lot more parkland and everything around on the other side. So at the moment we only have this little area that's been developed, but eventually become much bigger when it starts to encompass living quarters and a lot of other things. They have been building the parks, hotel on the other side, and that will be eventually the same on that side. Literally it will be all covered off around there with other accommodation for staff, for living. And hotel and a lot more pilgrims is being developed along the way, so I think the whole corridor of Brisbane will look like. That's the border crossing. We came around that way at the moment, but there's a bridge being built over the border, then continue and come down to where the border terminal would be. That's the immigration terminal for the Pakistan side. So border, you come into the immigration terminal, further go over the river Ravi, and you come in. There's the agricultural land that belongs to Gurdwara. The Indian side tourists usually come in there. Up there will be where Indian tourists come in, and they come in into the precinct. On the Pakistani side is there. You can see that gate there, which is where there's a separation. So Indians enter from one side, the Pakistanis enter from the other side. And then you can see at the moment they only have this little area, but eventually it'll grow on to become bigger and bigger, and more things come on, as we saw earlier. So yes, and the road then leads further into Pakistan to Narwar and Shakargarh. So this is the final plan. Once everything's been put in place in a few years, this is what the place will look like. This says Dharmic Vichar, which literally means religious discussions. So there's been some provision for people to sit down and have discussions around religion, which is not a bad thing, that if you can actually have a decent discussion about religion. Good initiative. So that's the Sarovar Sahib. This is the main Gurudwara. That's Guru Nanak's well and his mazar, his grave on the left of the Gurudwara. And then there's other things around, so I'll keep you posted throughout the day. The rain has stopped, which is great, but it was a heavy downpour, so the guys are doing a great job trying to keep this really, really good. So yeah, a few other things to go along with the way. At the moment, it is really good. Not many people. There should be about no more than 100 odd Indian tourists, even less than that, and not many Pakistanis. It's probably because of the rain so far. Hopefully it'll get better as the day gets better. That says Devanistan, and there's Darshni Deori on the other side, which is the entrance, and that is the main Gurudwara. It's pure white and it just looks serene. It's something that you have to watch yourself to believe how relaxing and serene it is, and it just gives you that feeling of peace, internal peace. Alright, bring you a bit more of that. As the story goes, Guru Nanak settled this spot after traveling the world. There's stories of his travels to Mecca and Medina, to Sri Lanka, to Tibet, Baghdad, Israel. People say he went as far as China, but again, after he had done all that, after he had traveled the world spreading the message of peace, he settled down at this place and spent the last 18 years of his life living a life of simple virtue. He used to irrigate his fields, basically farmed the land, set up this village of Kartarpur, and this is the well from where he used to irrigate his fields. So this is the real well of Guru Nanak. That's what it said. Babaji used to irrigate his fields from this sacred well. So I'll show you the well. So that is the well. Still has water in it. One thing that I do not like is people throw coins in sacred things like that. It's not going to bring you any prosperity by just throwing a $1 or a rupee coin. Refrain from doing that. But this is the well, very well preserved, got marble all over it. Still has the old style water belt that goes down and brings water as it rotates. So literally you rotate the lever there with the cow, that moves the thing there, which underneath moves this one, and that then brings water from in the well, pours it into the pan, that pours it out into the fields. So still the old system has been preserved really well for hundreds of years. But something that is worth admiring is the fact that they've kept the original well and preserved it well right next to the Gurudwara. The other side is something, they call it Kartarpur Sahib. Ku literally means well, so that's respected well, or revered well, as I should say. The local people believe that there is a miracle that happened here in 1971 during the war. This is a remnant of a bomb that was dropped in the area, and luckily it fell straight into the well and did not detonate. So they call it the miracle of the Vaheguru, miracle of Guru Nanak, that this area was not damaged. It is an Indian bomb apparently that was dropped in the 1971 war. Not to take sides here, but as they say, in a war, the bullets and the bombs don't see where they land, everyone suffers. One of those stories where a bomb dropped here. Remember, this is a border area. India is only 4 kilometers away, and that's the story as it goes. The bomb was sort of dropped over this place. It went straight into the sacred well, and the whole thing remained undamaged. This is the same well from where Guru Nanak used to irrigate his fields. So people do believe in miracles here. People do believe in stories like this. So let's try and actually go inside and look at the sacred shrine as well as the mazar. You may be aware of the story I was telling you about the Maharaja of Patiala, who rebuilt in the 1920s after the floods in River Ravi. And this is right at the entrance to the Gurudwara. That's the mazar where the Muslim followers of Guru Nanak buried the flowers of Guru Nanak. So as the story goes, that after his passing away, the Hindu, Sikh and Muslim followers started arguing about how he should be cremated or he should be buried. And while that was happening, they noticed that his body was gone and all that was left under the sheets was a few flowers. So they distributed the flowers. The Muslims buried the flowers here as per the Muslim tradition and Muslim rites. The Hindus and the Sikhs, his followers who are non-Muslims, cremated his body inside there, which is where this shrine now stands. So this is a good example of harmony that has existed over centuries in Punjab as such. And all Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, everyone comes here to pay their respects. This is the place where the Guru Nanak's body or his flowers, the remnants, were cremated by Hindu and Sikh followers.
प्रत्येक